Hi, as promised, part of Module 7, Joints and Muscles, we're going to show you some easy exercises for you to do to keep fit. And for that, I'm going to hand you over to my son, Dominic. Here he is.
Hello everybody, my name is Dominic Bostock. I am a doctor of chiropractic and general mad fitness freak fanatic. Done sport all my life. And so what we're going to do today is show you a little bit about how you can keep yourself a little bit fit, get a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger and improve your flexibility all at home, just in your living room. A little bit of equipment that you might need, but I'm going to show you some alternatives as well. If you haven't got some of this equipment or you don't have the availability or the space in your lounge to do it, but all of you will be able to do something of this nature in your living room. Okay, so we're going to look at this in 4 stages. So we're going to look at a warm-up, and the purpose of the warm-up will be to get your breathing rate up a little bit, get your heart rate up a little bit, and get your temperature up a little bit, so that you're ready for exercise, you're ready for stretches, your muscles are warm. We're then going to look at the stretches that you can do. Again, just on the floor. Some of you might have difficulty getting down on the floor and getting up again, so we'll look at some alternatives that you can do standing up. We're then going to look at some of your core stability, which is all this area around your middle here, your stomach and lower back, which is hugely important for the health of your lower back, health of your stomach, keeping everything all in the right places. And then we're going to show you one exercise for each of the major body parts, each of the major muscle groups in your body. And that will cover everything, and you can do all of that at home. It will only take you 10 minutes a day, and you can do that maybe 3 or 4 times a week depending on your level of fitness, and as you get better you can improve that and increase the amount of time that you're doing each week. Okay, so we're going to get Linda back into the shop now, and we're going to have a look at some of the exercises that you can do. So let's start with the warm-up where we said we were going to start. Okay, so Linda, if you'd like to take a stance just behind this the aerobic step there. Now as you can see, we've got an aerobic step here, but I'll show you in a second that you don't even need one of these in your house. So what I'd like you to do first of all, let me just move you to one side a second and I will give you a demonstration, is we're just going to do a very simple warm-up and just get ourselves moving. Okay, so it's up, down, 1 foot at a time. Try and alternate now and again, so then start with your left so that you're not overbalancing one side. Keep your arms nice and loose and just step up and down onto the step. So you have a go at that.
And shall I just do that at my own pace?
At your own pace.
Yeah, I don't need to do it at that speed that you were doing.
No. Okay, so that's fine. Some of you may have bad knees, so you might find this a little bit difficult, so you might need to find a slight alternative that's not so bad on the knees.
Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
So alternate, yeah. Fine.
And how long should I do that?
So you do that until you feel your temperature rising a little bit, you feel your heartbeat rising a little bit, and you feel your breathing rate rising a little bit. That may only take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. For most of you out there, it's probably only going to be that. Okay, so this equipment you can buy in any good sports shop. It's very easy to get hold of and relatively cheap. This step probably won't set you back much more than about £20. But if you don't have one of those and you don't have access to a sports shop, come here and I'll show you what you can do in your own home. So the majority of you will have a set of steps in your home, and you can stand at the bottom step and do exactly the same thing. And there you have it. Simple equipment at home. Okay, so now Linda is nicely warmed up, heart rate's up a little bit, breathing is up a little bit, and temperature is up a little bit and ready for stretches. Don't forget that if you have any problems whilst you're doing this, if you have any pain, if you had particularly any chest pains, your breathing is difficult, stop immediately. Go and seek some advice either from your doctor or from a health professional of some description. It may be that you'll need a few things checked out, or if that persists, maybe join a class where you're overseen by an instructor all the time and where there's professional people available to you. But if everything's okay with this, we'll move on to the stretches now. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some stretches now. And what we're aiming to do again is I will show you one stretch for each of the major muscle groups in the body. And again, some of you might not be able to do some of these, so you'll have to adapt it slightly, maybe underdo them slightly, not stretch quite as far. Linda is very fit, keeps walking all the time, and so she'll probably have some quite good flexibility. So the first thing we're going to look at is the calf muscles. So these muscles at the back of the leg here that we're going to stretch off. So very easy. The fitness step that the aerobic step that we've already used, we're going to use that. And what you want to do is foot onto there and just push down slightly. You might want to you gently feel the stretch in the back of your calf. If you want to do that a little bit firmer, actually step up onto the step and use the step like that. Make sure that you have this foot on, because the steps can on a carpet tip over, so just be very careful with that. Okay, so if you'd like to have a try at that, Linda.
So this knee is bent.
Yeah.
And
you just push down towards the ground.
I'm pushing my heel down.
You're pushing your heel down.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's excellent.
For most of you that will give a good stretch, but now if you'd like to step up with your other foot and with the leg slightly straighter.
No, see that does make me feel a little bit unbalanced.
Okay, so if you're unbalanced, that's fine.
And
with the leg a little bit straighter.
Both legs straight, or?
So you're bending this leg.
Yeah.
And this will stretch the back of the calf there, so drop it down.
Yeah, I can really feel that. Yeah.
You might want to make sure that you're wearing some trainers for this, because that in your socks that you'll easily slip off the back of the.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have a look at the hamstrings and stretch those off. These are the muscles at the back of the leg here, and I'm sure you'll all be aware of those, but we will have a look at the stretch for that. Now we're going to have a look at two ways of doing this, because again some of you might not be able to get onto the floor, but my preferred way of doing it is to actually get down onto the floor. Now I'm going to demonstrate it initially. So you need a little bit of space where you can sit, legs slightly apart, and just bring your hands forward. And that's about as far as you will need to go. Most of you will have fairly tight hamstrings. If you're very flexible, you can push forward a little bit. I'm not very flexible at all, and that's about as far as I can go, and I can feel a nice stretch in the back of my legs there. For those of you that can't get down onto the floor too easily, you can do this standing, but I'm not a big fan of doing it this way, because it does put a little bit of stress on the lower back. But if you really can't get down onto the floor, do it this way. Feet about shoulder width apart, and then we just push the hands down towards the floor. Now, as I've mentioned, can be a little bit of a strain on the back for this one, so what I really want you to focus on if you're using this one is that your pelvis, so this middle bit here, is really rocked backwards, so you feel like you're sticking your bottom out, okay? And you stay in that position as you go down, and you try and keep that position there. You'll feel the stretch. What you'd often see people doing is, because they think they're going to stretch further, is they arch their back, okay? That doesn't actually stretch the hamstring any further, so keep your back nice and straight and stretch down into that position. With all these stretches, no bouncing. This is all just a hold. Right, so let's have a look at the quad muscles now. So these are the big muscles at the front. They do a lot of work, very easily stretched. So this is a muscle group here, and all we do is take the foot there, make sure that you're nicely balanced. If you need to use a chair or something next to you, then you can do so, if you're strong enough to do it like I'm doing it. Now, again, I'm not a very flexible person. I do a lot of running, fair bit of sprinting, so my muscles are not very flexible. But if you want to increase the stretch on this one, push the pelvis forward and bring the leg backwards so that you're in that position. Let me show you that from the side. So that is the position that you want. I can feel a nice stretch there already, but if you want to increase that, push the pelvis forward, bring the leg backwards. Right, Linda, if you'd like to have a go at that, let's see if you can balance. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so balance is a bit wobbly there. So with some people, they might like to hold on to something. So you might like to hold on to my arm just to steady you there. If you've got a training partner, you can do this stretch together. Put your hand on my shoulder and we can do this stretch together and stabilise each other. Okay, if you've got a training partner. Otherwise get a kitchen chair. Otherwise get a kitchen chair and hang on to that at your side. Okay?
Yeah, fine.
Good.
That was good.
So now we're going to look at the gluteal muscles, so the big buttock muscles, and again they do a lot of work. This is another one that needs to be done on the floor, ideally. So again, if you can't do this on the floor, I will show you a little alternative. Quite a difficult one to do standing up. But the floor one is very simple. Again, so the gluteal muscles are here, buttock muscles. You have one leg straight, you put the other leg over the top like that. You stabilise yourself with your right hand, so I'm doing right leg, so stabilise with right hand on the floor. Left arm comes across, so it's a bit of a twist, and you push that leg across like that. Okay, so that's, again, I'm feeling a nice stretch in there. Now, if you're not strong enough to get into this position or flexible enough to get in this position, lie flat on the floor, bring the leg up like that, so that it's on this side of the body of the other leg now, and then you bring it over the top using, again, your opposite hand, and you go over as much as you can. You'll get a little bit of a stretch in the back this time as well as the glute. So we're not really focusing on the back, but that's fine. Make sure that your shoulders are flat on the floor and they are not just rolling over. Okay, so that's the stretch like that. So let's look at a stretch for the chest. Very simple. Hands together behind your back and just lift them up behind you. And get into as far as you can go with those. Again, I'm not very flexible, so you might be able to push those a little bit further. And then for the back, we want to just put the hands together in front of you and just stretch out in front of you. Again, very simple. You can see that my back has become sort of quite curved at the top. Again, just be very careful about this area of your back here. You don't want to be slumping over. So make sure that you're still nice and upright, but you're stretching those muscles out at the top. So the top of the back is becoming quite curved. That's where the stretch comes from. Push away as though you're trying to push something away from you. All right. We'll look at the tricep muscles here, which are at the back of the arm. Very simple. You put your hand into the middle of your back. The other hand goes at the top, and you just pull that hand down into the middle. Now, if you have any neck problems, pre-existing neck problems, this is a difficult one, so just leave this out if you have any pre-existing neck problems. Other side, we do exactly the same. Push it down into the middle of the back. Again, hold for 30 seconds and release it. If you feel the stretch easing off, just increase the stretch a little bit. And the biceps, we've sort of already done that in our chest stretch. But what you want to do is really, for this one, is really try and straighten the arms out as much as you can. Biceps are very difficult to stretch. It's not really a stretch you can do, but incorporate that in the chest muscle stretches. And there you have it. There's all of your body been stretched off, and now we're ready to do a few exercises.